All right. Okay, first, before we do anything, we will do a test of the coffee. Slightly early. I think this is the first shot, so I will be testing the first shot, and then I will do a second shot to compare, right, to see whether the quality is consistent. It's not bad. It's pretty sweet. Acidity is there. It's really good. This is full robust, no acidity. That's the subtle sweetness, very chocolatey. All right, so the first shot is good. So now I'm going to pull a second shot. And then I'm going to do a comparison. Okay, monitor the timing. When she comes out in about 4 to 5 seconds. You can see that this shot is slightly longer than before. It takes about 23, 24 seconds. Oh, this is more vibrant. This is more juicy. Yes, so this is a better cup indeed. So I think from second shot onwards, it should be getting this taste. I definitely can taste the difference between these two. Yeah, this one, acidity is there, sweetness is there, but it's not as juicy as this one. I can taste the juiciness in this second shot. Okay, this I'll make a cortado. Right, let's taste the second one. This is the one with about less than 20% Robusta. Just a moment. Just a moment. Hey, you come in first? It's okay? No worry, no worry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was just starting in the coffee.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's tasted good already. Right, the usual. Yeah. Just a moment. Thank you. There you go.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Cortado. Right, I forgot which shot is sweet shot for this one. This is hotter. Right, so this should be the more recent one. Oh yeah, the body is better. It is like on the same, it's the taste is very similar, but on a different scale. This one on a scale of 10, maybe you're achieving 6 to 7. This one probably 8 to 9. So this is a much better cup. Yeah, but I can't drink so much coffee. And usually I like slightly medium light roast. But this particular beans goes really well with milk. It reflects a lot of chocolatey and nuttiness. Let's test the milk system. Nope. Nope. Technology, you know, sometimes. Nope. So weird. Sometimes, you know. I think the manufacturer has to make a better tolerance on this. Ah, this is better. Okay, that's good. Hi, morning. Hi, morning. Ice black? Hot one. Okay. One ice.
And then one ice, yeah.
So one ice black, one hot black.
White.
Hot white.
One hot
Hot latte, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and
And ice latte.
so one hot, one ice. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And then one croissant, the ham and cheese.
Sure. Having here? Payment by card? Yeah. Do you need the receipt?
Yeah.
Sure. There you go. Take a seat first. Hi, morning.
Morning. We have 2 flat whites.
Sure.
Please.
Having here?
Yes, please. And 1 single shot.
So one single shot flat
Yeah,
white.
1 is a single shot.
Sure.
A cheese and ham croissant.
Sure. One?
Yes, and I'll have. Do you recommend the blueberry or the banana Danish?
I like the banana better. Yeah.
All right, 2 banana Danish.
Sure. So the croissant still goes, right?
Sorry.
The ham and cheese?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, sure.
Yeah, blueberry Danish. Yeah. It is a light side. Are you the owner?
Yes.
We were in yesterday. You've got a very nice young man in here.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
lady too, right? Have you seen her?
Yeah, we bought a temper and glasses.
Ah,
and,
okay. That means you must have came quite early in the morning too.
Yeah, we bought quite a lot. Oh, actually,
It's okay.
hang on. What am
Yeah.
I doing? Sorry, I'm not thinking.
No problem. Take your time.
I just have to hold it up to
Yep.
get it to then do the double flip. And
Technology, right?
I know.
Yep.
That's quite
Do you need a receipt?
right?
Okay, can take a seat first.
Yes, please.
Nope, that was no good. Salah starting. Oh, join. The single shot flat white?
Yes, for me, thank
Yes.
you.
Oh.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you very much. Come, enjoy. Hi, morning.
Sorry.
Take your time. Sure. For takeaway? Sure. Just a moment. Make my payment by?
Okay.
Sure.
Hold on, yeah.
Yeah, take it. It's okay, take your time. Yep, thank you. Do you need the receipt? It's very hard to say. Some company does allow their, no? Okay. Yeah, just wait for a short while. It's a chicken ham.
Okay, can I have one also?
Sure. I'll heat it up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just wait for a short while. Okay, I'll be right back. Ham and cheese. Do you need cutleries for the banana danish?
You just eat with the finger.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Enjoy. Sure. Thank you. I'll give you some serviettes. Just in case you need. Yeah. Do you need a carrier for this? Ah, okay. That's nice. There you go. Have a good day. See you back soon. Yeah.
What time do you guys close?
Sorry?
What time do you guys close?
Close 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Last order is 4:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. I'll show you this croissant. I left it inside the oven. Become black croissant. Okay, let's see. Yes. Let's see. Hyper protagonist. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Rani. Actual espresso machines. Definitely. You don't need an expensive espresso machine to do good coffee. You need a good grinder. Morning, Rosa. Yeah, so I will try to give you this view, right? I have to point the front-facing camera to me. The quality will not be the best, but at least I can see the chat going on and I can see myself. Yeah, okay, let's get the coffee. First coffee. Cheers. Coffee. I wonder how this burnt croissant tastes like. And how burnt this is. It's too dry. I've left it in the oven for too long. And it has a slight burnt taste. I used to own a Bambino Plus. It's a pretty good machine. 54 filter basket, auto froth. Yeah. I'll let you feel that again. It's dry, that's why it's crispy. Yeah, Bambino Plus is good. I think if you are pulling like 2 or 3 shots a day, it's a very good machine, and furthermore, you have a very good grinder. So, yeah, definitely having a good coffee. Right, so today we're going to continue to try to dial in this coffee, which is the Nicaragua Geisha, which I've roasted on the 21st of this month. So I think today is the 20. Let me see the date of today. What's the date of today? Today is the 26th, so it's already 5 days. So the taste should be pretty good. So let's try. So let's pour an espresso. Okay, while waiting, I have to get this. Good morning.
Can I have the
The usual long black, sure. Any preference? More chocolatey, more sweet and slightly acidic?
more
Or you want to
chocolatey, I guess.
more chocolatey?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a new beans.
Unless you want to try.
No, thank you.
No? Yeah, this is on the sweeter side. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Take a sip first. So you can see the reason why we use park screen. And you don't need any cleaning devices. See how clean the water filter is? Ah, I got the wrong coffee. I'll make a new one. This is the one that it's more. Oh. See my black croissant?
Oh my god, what happened?
I left inside for too long.
No way.
I didn't press the button.
Oh my god.
I just used the heat.
Which one can it?
Huh?
I honestly thought it was a chocolate person.
Chocolate croissant, right? Okay, I'm finished with my first coffee. Now go to my second coffee. the long black using our ASK blend number 3, which is the Velvet No More Venus. It's a Kenyan beans mixed with Brazil Cerrado, so it will give you the brighter acidity and grapey kind of tasting notes from Kenya, and then the slight sweetness and the chocolatey base from the Brazil Cerrado. It has zero bitterness, so this is a very sweet and slight mild acidic coffee. This is the coffee that I like. Okay, so I think my guys are here. Can I go and roast coffee? Can I?
Oh yeah, you need to.
I need to roast it because our hopper is running super low.
Yeah.
Scary. Okay, I go inside. Yeah. Okay, so let's go inside and roast coffee. Right. One of our beans is out of supply, so now this is a crisis, which means to say that I will need to switch and roast one of the beans slightly darker, so that to give you the flavor of the dark chocolate notes. And I'll be right. I will show you. I will guide you through on what I do. I think for today's beans, for the new beans, I'll be using the Dalat from Vietnam, and then I'll be using the Brazil Santos. Hey, thanks.
I want to show you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you want to show Kelly? This one looks good. Hey, when I bite it, crunchy. Chocolate croissant. After 15 minutes, there's a hint of bitterness, a burnt flavor. Can eat, still can eat. It's very crunchy. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Low grown. Yep, it's a pretty low grown geisha, but the tasting note, it's really very good. I'm really surprised by this low grown geisha. It is sweet and acidity is just so nice. Yeah. Why does a portafilter? Why does the puck screen make the portafilter so clean? First of all, it compacted the puck, and then it reduces the water, the moisture that's inside the coffee puck. So if you don't use the puck screen, normally you have a little bit of ponding of water on top of your puck, and that's going to make your puck very salty. And when that happens, which means you probably have grinded your coffee too fine, and then what's going to happen is that your puck is going to stuck onto your portafilter on the shower on the filter baskets, and that is going to be very, very messy when you want to knock it out. Your puck will not knock out nicely. So that's the issue. So we have been using puck screen in our cafe for coming to second year, and you can see that we do not need any cleaning gadgets. You can see though some barista uses some spinning devices to put your portafilter on. You still need to clean that, right? But for us, we just knock it out. The only thing we need to clean is the puck screen. And how do we clean the puck screen? It's very easy. If it is really dirty, we use a steam wand to steam it to remove all the fine coffee powder that's stuck inside that. And at the end of the day, we just soak it with kafisa. And it's spotless, it's clean. And it is reusable. That's the best thing, right? And it doesn't need any energy. So yeah, so it's really good. Yeah. So that's regarding the puck screen. Yep, and it also keep the shower head clean. Portafilter is clean as well, as you can see. I think Porfis is asking for brew guide for the bean. Tam, those, you. Okay, this one I will cover slightly later. What happened to the pastry is still here. I have no time to eat it. Dark roasted. yeah, this is... I'll just show you again. This is the dark roasted croissant, right? Okay, let me fire out the machine because it takes some time to heat up. And then I'm going to plan a new roast, right? New chocolate croissant. 你这样早来今天 Okay, I will need to roast. The rules of roasting, or not really a rules, but a better way to roast coffee. If you're roasting coffee batch after batch, it is best that you roast coffee that is lighter than, and the darker roast will be roasted slightly later. All right, it's very logical. All right, so I'm going to roast the first bean, which is our Velvet Noir. This one contains a Canyon and Cerrado. All right, so let's start the drum. This is going to be medium light, so 175 charge temperature is just nice. Okay, so now it will take about 15 minutes or to 20 minutes for the roaster to heat up. Meanwhile, I will be checking the green bean condition, right? So let me turn on this moisture, is a moisture meter. Right, there's a moisture meter there. Okay, so we were going to check green bean. All right, so let's get the green bean. For the first one, I'm going to use Cerrado and Canyon. So let's check the Canyon first. Right, our current roaster, it's 5 kg capacity, which is enough for now. Okay, 2.5. Okay, let's get the cup. Just checking the moisture. I think this is... This one also check the density of the bean. Moisture is 12.1, density is 686 gram per liter. So this is not, I've seen bean denser than this. This is the Canyon bean. So the moisture content is about there. Oh, okay, just a moment. Yes. Hey.
I was going to ask you if,
Yeah.
if there's any possibility of getting. I don't have the grinder here.
Okay.
But that's the actual grinder.
Yeah.
And that's the brand.
Okay, Rica Mignon, I know. Yes.
Yeah. And it's Silencia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Is it what it is the top? This bit up here. Is all
broken up.
Broken. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. How hard would it be to get
A replacement.
replacement?
I can check it for you. Because we do have contact to the Eureka Mignon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get my contact, and I can find out the price for you.
Yeah. Rather forget the price.
Okay.
What just if you order it, how long would that take?
That depends on whether they have. My partner has ready stock for this what we call the parts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You need it urgently?
Yeah, because I'm flying out. We're away leaving Monday.
Then probably won't be able to make
Won't be
it in
able to do
time.
it.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So sorry about it. Yeah. Okay, so 12.1%. All right, let's check the other one. Let's write it down. 12.1686. This is the Kenyan. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the Brazil Cerrado. The beans looks really different. Another 2.5. Okay, let's check the. You can see the bean. This is the Brazil. .2, so you can see the density and the moisture is very similar. And what does it tell us? It tells us that we can roast these two coffee together. So this is an indication whereby I will choose to roast the beans separately, or I'm going to choose to roast the beans together. All right. Let's power this off. And then let's wait for the roaster to get heated up. I hope that you find this interesting. Yep, firing the big boy now. So let me bring it over there. What do you guys think about me starting a sort of something similar to a masterclass for roasting? Anybody will be interested? I'll be first doing a first video talking about what I intend to do, and then I'll ask you to give me questions, and then I will address those questions in accordance to how I develop the lessons. Let me know what you think about this. Yeah, because I'm not saying that I'm very qualified for this, but I would like to share my experience. Yeah, and when I first started roasting, I learned everything by myself until I take my roasting classes, professional roasting classes. And now I have a better understanding of the different factors that affects. Learning about blending is pretty interesting, right? That one, yes, I can do, sure, right? I will take that in note. Other than blending, is there, okay, how many of you are actually roasting coffee at home? Or you have access to roasters, or you do some sort of pan frying, use a normal wok to roast the coffee. Or you can just simply drum with a gas canister or something like that, right? The idea about this lesson is you should be able to track it manually and automatically by using software and by manual way of tabulating the data. So we'll be covering that as well. So I think I have a rough idea what I want to cover. Okay, sure. Yeah, I know many of you don't roast at home, but then who knows, right? Because I think after getting the machines that you want, the next level that you want to hit. You're probably roasting your coffee, your own coffee at home. All right, so while waiting, I think right now, still quite a long way to go. The roaster is only about 60 degrees Celsius. Yeah. All right, let's continue to eat that burnt croissant. Home roasting machine. There are really those cheaper ones. When I first wanted to get into roasting, I go onto YouTube like everyone else, and I look at how people start from scratch. And I see many people converted a popcorn machine, like a little popcorn machines, into a roasters. That could be a first start. Yeah, but the issue with that is you do not have controls of all the things, right? Just so the control part is a little bit difficult, but it will give you an idea of the roasting process in different stages, right? And it can just simply be an oven whereby you can control the temperature. You can increase the temperature gradually, but you have to find a way to toss the beans because if you bake the oven or if you bake the beans on one side will be burned faster than the other side, right? So that's another thing to concern. Nowadays, the home roasting machine has, I think the price has gone down. I will recommend something with a drum, whether you can spin it by yourself or you can have a motor to spin the drum, right? So at least you have control over the drum speed. And then you just need hot pots, gas stove, whereby you put the drum on top as you rotate the drum. That could be your start to a very simple and basic setup. So basically, you just need to purchase a drum, whether motorized or not is up to you. So at least in that way, you have control of two main important factors, which is the heat and the drum speed, right? So I think roasting is all about controlling factors, right? In better machines, we are able to control the fire. Some is gas, some is electric. Some is using hot air, but it's still using gas to heat up the hot air, like the Lorraine. Most roasters uses gas roasters, like the famous one. I do not want to. You know the brands, and those are traditional one. And you have to look at the drum type, the material of the drum, and all those things. It's very important. But to start off, we just don't care about all these things. You just need a drum whereby you can spin, right? It's on the stand whereby you can spin it. Yeah, correct. Putting an electric drum on a gas hob. No, it's not that. It's not that dangerous. Don't put an electric drum. Get a manual drum and a gas stove, right? You know those gas stove with canisters, whereby you can bring outdoor. So just in case it caught fire, you can splash water or whatever on it, right? Yeah. So that could be the start. If you want to start without anything, you can use your wok at home, right? But you have to have a device to measure the temperature, right? And in that way, you can also constantly stir the beans. But it will be very tiring because I've tried it before. Yeah, I've tried it myself using a flat bottom pan. That's not a very good idea. Yeah, I should use a wok instead of a flat bottom pan. Yeah. So, and the roaster which I first started is not something that it's beginner friendly. Yes, your wok, hey? It is actually this roaster here. I've been using this roaster for quite some time. This is the one I spent almost 2.5K to 3K on this, $2.5 to $3,000 on this. But it's a very good investment because this roaster, which is made in China, the brand is called Kaleido, right? Kaleido M2. I think the US, they have distributor for this model. and this brand. Right, this is the M10, which is the 1 kg capacity. This is the 400 gram capacity, right? So this roasters allows you to control all the factors you want as a professional roaster. And that's how I translate all the knowledge I've learned on coffee roasting to what I'm doing now, right? But if you just want to get as a hobby, right, do not jump into this. Yeah, there are other cheaper options. Like what I say, just get a manual, a drum, you know, and a gas canister whereby you do your hot pot or whatever, you know, those type of things. So at least you know the different stages of roasting, right? There's one factor you can't control, which is the speed of the fan, right? Because you do not have a fan. But that can come slightly later, right? When you get into like drum roasting machines we buy, the drum is encased inside a body, right? Like what you see here. Right. So you can see here, this one technically there's a drum inside in the center, and it spins, and there's an external casing, and the heat is used to heat up the external casing, and the heat will be transferred by either radiation or convection, and and that's how they heat up the drum that's inside. So the drum material and all these things are very important for the larger roasters. So it's really hard for me to recommend, but if you are looking for something to start on a lower budget, yeah, that's one way you can do it. Yeah. Stock pot on the stove and a wooden spoon and some strong arm. Yes, you're right. Yes. So the process is actually pretty similar, right? Coffee beans, for a particular beans, the characteristic is fixed, right? What do I mean by characteristics? The only thing that you need to care when you roast coffee is the temperature, right? You just need to monitor the temperature first, because temperature will tell you most of the important data. Forget about the other things, right? Because if you fix the drum speed, if you fix the fan, and you change the heat source, and that's going to directly change the temperature at which you are roasting your coffee, right? Why do I say that the temperature is the most important data? Because as you know, there are a few important milestones in coffee roasting if you have been following me, right? The first one is your charge temperature, right? That's the temperature you heat up your roaster to. Okay, I'll answer that question later, right? To be honest, if you are getting a fully equipped roasters at around $3,000, it's a steal, because if you look at 1 kg gas roasters, you are looking at least $5,000 to $6,000. Yeah, and if you're looking for something larger, right, the price just increased. Yeah, but anything below 1 kg or 1 kg, it should be around 5,000 to 6,000. Yeah, but the roasters that you see just now, the Kaleido M10, right, this is close to 4,000 for a 1 kg roaster, but it uses electric, right, and the power that it uses is very low, it's only 800 watts. Right, going back to the milestone, first we have the charge temperature, which is the temperature at which you warm up your machine to, and then you charge your beans, right? And then the next one is where the the beans are cool. So as you throw the beans inside the hopper and go inside the drum, the temperature of the drum, or the temperature, I would say temperature surrounding the prop will be cooled down, because the bean is much cooler than the drum, right? So the temperature is going to go down. And there will be a lowest point at which your temperature will reach, because at one point the beans will be at the same temperature as the heat source, right? And then that's what we call the turning point, whereby the beans will be at the lowest temperature. It's usually around 70 plus to above 70 plus degrees Celsius. Right, then it will start to go up. So first one is charge temperature, second one is the turning point, the third one is what we call the dry end, and beyond, within this process, is all about drying the beans. So this is called the drying phase, and the third milestone is called the dry end, is where 70-80% of the beans, the green beans, has becoming yellow, right? They turn yellow in color. right? So this is called the yellowing process. And the entire process of yellowing all the way to first crack is called the Maillard reaction. So the Maillard reaction is actually very, very long, right? Maillard is a process of converting the sugar, caramelizing the sugar, right? So how much you caramelize the sugar depends on your temperature, right? So all these are temperature sensitive. Yeah. So after you reach your dry end is where 70-80% of your beans has been turning from green to yellow, and after that you will start to go into the what we call the Maillard reaction. Maillard phase is where the beans turn from yellow to brown, right? And then during this phase is the most important because you want to, if you want to develop your beans in a certain profile, certain tasting notes, right, you have to control this phase really well. And also, you also have to control the phase after first crack. So first crack, what happened in first crack is the bean has got moisture inside. Remember just now has got about 12.1% moisture inside the bean, right? So what happened inside the bean is that the heat is conducted through, and then the moisture in the bean start to build up pressure as the water in the bean increases in temperature. So as it increases to beyond 100 degrees Celsius, it will start to vaporize. And once you have vapor, it will build up pressure, right? And when the pressure is no longer being able to hold by the bean structure itself, you will force and crack open the beans. So the first time that it happened is called the first crack, right? Yeah, and during first crack, the beans should be turning to brown. What kind of brown? I will show you later at different stages, right? So, and after that, after first crack, depending on how long you drop the beans, the process will be turning from a bean that tastes sweet to burnt sugar taste, to the dark chocolate taste, right? And eventually to second crack, which is the second time, whereby the bean pop, and that's because of the carbon dioxide gas being released. It's no longer moisture, right? So the second crack is because of the release of the carbon dioxide gas. Once you hear the second crack happening, right, your beans should be turning very, very dark in color, and the oil, everything should be coming out very soon. So usually we don't go there unless it's by accident. Yeah, so let's check the temperature of the drum. Right, it is now 168. So we will be dropping the beans pretty soon. I'm going to show you. Right now it's hitting 170. Right, I will try to show you how the bean gets sucked in. Right, this is the bean sipping in the hopper. You'll hear the beeping sound from the machine telling me that it has reached the desired temperature that I want to heat the machine to. Right, you hear the beep. Right, and that's it. It goes in, and then the rest is just about waiting. Right, so there's nothing much to see in the roaster itself. Right, so you can see first, that's the charge temperature. Right, so that's the first milestone, and then I will show you the second milestone later on when it reaches there. Right, and if you see the beans now, it's going to be green. Right, so you use this tri stick to see the color. Right, you can see it's still green. Okay, 2 beans drop out, it's fine. Right. Yeah, so basically, you can see each of the milestone is all temperature dependent. And for a specific bean, it should happen at a specific temperature. Right, so as roasters, we keep a profile of all these roasting characteristics. So we know roughly when this is going to happen. Yeah, so all this is by experience and of course by trying to test roast the beans. So that's why we need the sample roasters to give us an idea, the different milestone at what temperature it happens. Then it will guide us to how long or how soon we want to drop the beans or how long we want to develop the beans. So basically that's the whole thing. So since temperature is the most important, right? The most important thing that you want to try roasting yourself at home is to have a way to monitor the temperature, right? If you don't have a way to monitor the temperature, then you'll be roasting blindly, right? I'm not saying that it's not, it's just that it cannot be repeated. Yeah. So, okay, we are reaching turning point. How do we know the turning point is reached? Right, if you see this rate of rise, it is still negative, right? 0. So turning point is hit. So I will chart it at turning point, right? So that's the second milestone, the lowest temperature at which the bean has reached. During this time, nothing has happened to the bean. The bean is just quietly, not quietly, sorry, just absorbing the heat from the roaster, right? From the heat that the roaster generates. So coming back to Hyper's question, if that 400 gram was 2 to 3K, I'm talking about Singapore dollar, right? The larger roaster must be at least 15K. It's much more than that. My 5 kg roaster costs much more than 15K, right? And this is only the roasters. We are still not talking about this part, which actually to remove the chaff, and that part which burn off the exhaust gas, which called what we call the afterburner. All these adds up to the cost. Yeah, so this is the most expensive equipment in our shop. Right, so if you have any question, now there's not much. Usually the dry end happens at around 145 to 150 plus degrees Celsius. It's typical, right? There's a range of temperature. And for these beans, I know usually it will happen at the end of till end of 140 degrees Celsius, probably reaching 150. And I will show you a color later, right? So that is what we call the dry end, right? And on the machine, it started as a Maillard reaction. Yeah, Maillard reaction is the yellowing or browning of the beans, so it is technically correct. So what causes the baking of coffee? Okay. For example, if you want to... Okay, how do I explain this? Baking. Baking is when you leave the bean. For example, you have a problem with managing heat. The heat doesn't go up, right? Or for example, you forget to set your temperature. Let's say you set your limit of temperature at 186 degrees Celsius. You do not know, right? So what happens is that the roaster will heat up to 186 and stop there. And you will maintain that 186 degrees of temperature. And if you didn't realize that, the coffee is going to be maintained at 186 degrees Celsius or going slightly higher, right? And because it has remained in that temperature for too long, and if you roast the coffee at the same temperature for too long, it will continue to, remember, the bean is sensitive to temperature change, right? So if there's no temperature change drastically, if the bean remain at the temperature, you will continue to bake, right? Because the chemistry in the bean is dependent on the temperature. So if your temperature doesn't go up or doesn't go down, that means it will stay, there will not be much things happening. So that's when baking happens, right? And baking will make your coffee taste very, very muted, very dull. Yeah, it's a batch that we're going to throw away or we're going to use to season the grinder. Yeah, so sometimes it happens, we forget to set our temperature to be higher, right? There's no risk on this larger machine because the temperature will go up, but there's a risk on my smaller machine because the smaller machines are smarter. It has PID control, so sometimes, luckily it's a smaller batch, sometimes it happens. I'm not saying that in the larger machine it won't happen because there's still a maximum temperature it can go if I heat up the machine to a certain temperature. If I forget to drop the beans and let it stay inside the drum for too long, it will also continue to bake. Yeah. So baking, I think, is an extensive roasting process whereby the temperature is maintained roughly around the same, or you maintain it for too long. My preference is to sweetness, and again, the sugar conversion, the caramelization again is sensitive to temperature. So whether you have a fast or slow roast, right, that's going to affect your body. That's going to affect your body, whether you want a stronger body or cleaner body, right? But then, if I want it to be sweeter, I'll roast it to a slightly higher temperature rather than a lower temperature. So for example, if light roast, normally I will drop the beans at around 188, 189 degrees Celsius right after first crack. So the caramelization has happened and most of the sugar has not really been converted to the sugar that I want to, right? So that coffee is going to taste much more acidic, right? But if I want it to be sweeter, I will roast it slightly higher temperature, right? Not to the second crack, but maybe closer to the medium roast, maybe 196 or maybe 198 degrees Celsius, depending on the type of beans. Yes, so it's the development rather than speed. Because speed you can control by by putting the percentage power of heat, right? So speed of the roast affect the heat penetration. If you roast it too fast, the heat may not penetrate fast enough, so the outside may appear baked, inside may appear green. So there's a way for us to check that. We can check the color of the outside of the roasted bean and the inside. If the number is too big of a difference, maybe 30, 40 differences, that means the bean is green inside and then cooked outside. And the bean's not going to taste good. Yeah. So if you roast it too fast, you run the risk of having very vegetal green taste in your coffee beans. Right now, okay, while talking to you, this is already yellowing and it's already started to brown a little bit. So I actually missed out the chart here, but it's okay. Next one is cinnamon. Right, cinnamon, it's I don't know. I just know that it's not going to taste very good if I roast it too fast. Usually the vegetable paste is not something that we like. And immediately when we go to taste coffee from some other roasters where roast really light, usually we tend to pick up notes that's very green, very underdeveloped kind of coffee. And the green taste is, it will be overpowering. And the taste, no matter how well you roast the outside, the coffee will not taste good. That's in my opinion, right? It definitely will not get you a floral taste. I can assure you. Right? So we are reaching a state called the cinnamon color. Right? It's before the first crack. Should be happening around 160 plus to 170 degrees Celsius. Right, so just to show you. Right, that's close to cinnamon. It's a light brown in color. Right now we have to wait for first crack. My current roaster is slightly different from the others. You can see that I do not really control everything here because that's the unique characteristics of this roaster itself. My teacher told me this is not a roaster that's easy to roast because you cannot really control the heating power. You cannot control it once you set the temperature to be a certain level. So there are other ways to control this roaster. I've been roasting on this for 1.5 years, so roughly I know what to do. So now we wait for first crack. I can try that, no? Charlik, I can try that. Chahak, sorry. I can try what you suggest, and then we can cup the coffee. Because this is another interesting thing. If I roast it super fast, outside will be roasted, inside will be light. Yeah, we can definitely do that because it's not something that's hard to do. I'm trying to listen to the first crack. Usually happens around 188. Oh, the smell of the nuts. I can hear the first pop. Yep, it's happening, 188. And once the first crack started, I was on the mixer and the fan. Because this is a medium light roast, so I will be dropping the beans at around 196 degrees Celsius. The entire roast should be kept before 14 minutes. In fact, it's around 13 plus minutes. Oh, the smell is so good. And I know this roast is going to be good because I can smell it immediately. So there's a big fan below this to suck out the air, and the air actually vent out through the pipe so that in the room it doesn't have any fumes or doesn't have any heat. I still can feel the heat from the machine, yeah, but then it is not too hot. Yeah, the roast is very consistent, so now I just have to wait for the bean to cool. The moisture should be less than 3% on the coffee, and the density should also drop. So we're going to measure the roasted bean density and the color and everything else later. Okay, let's get ready some carving. After this, I'll be cooling the machine down to get ready for the roaster to roll for the second batch. And this is what we call the batch to between batch protocol. I've never realized how important this is until I go for my professional class. This is really to repeat the roast, but the next roast is a different bean. Yeah, I just have to cool it down, then fire it up again. You can see, it's very consistent in color. I'll be dropping the bean very soon. It does smell amazing. Later, when I grind the coffee and taste the coffee, I'll let you know how it is. This is the same coffee I'm drinking this morning, right? Yeah, the Velvet Noir Venus. Yep, it's good. Remember to turn off the heater. Okay, now let's measure the coffee. Okay, let me bring it over here. Now I can see that the moisture is only 2.2%. Somehow it's not able to pick up the density. The shelf life of green bean is usually minimum 2 to 3 years, but also that depends on how you store the bean, right? Okay, it is still a little bit warm, so let's go wait for a short while. Right, let's check that again. It's not measuring the density. Okay, I think we can measure both together. Right now, this one measures the color as well as the density. Definitely not 36. I think 36 is too dark. Okay, let's transfer over to this and then measure again. Let's get some beans over. See, 73. Yeah, the DF54 is good. I love it. So this is the medium, more towards a medium roast, but you can see the color is actually not dark. Right, okay, so let me pour it back and then we'll grind a batch of coffee and then we will cup it, right? So let me throw all these beans inside. $73.4, okay. Okay, so now let's get ready for cupping. Okay, let me drop the beans, it's too noisy there. Okay, let you see the process entirely. Higher the lighter, yes, you're right. Okay, now it's less noisy. Okay, now let's try to cup this coffee. So just now we measured the external color. Now we have to measure the internal color. So let's measure 10 grams. On the DF, I grind at around 80. Okay, 10 grams. Sadly, I still have to spray. Because if I grind coarse, the static is still there. So remember just now the color outside is 70 plus. Now we check the internal color. Oh, the smell is good. Leveled it. Let's check the color. $104. So there's a difference of about 30. So you can see the inside is not roasted very dark. So this will retain a lot of acidity in the coffee. Can you smell it? Ooh, yep. So I think this is the one that you talk about. It is not roasted too fast, but yet I'm able to retain the acidity that's inside the coffee. Okay, now we need to cup it. Okay, let me get it higher. So they can see better, right? Medium outside, light inside. Medium light inside, I would say. Yes, you're right. So this is what you talk about, but I did not roast it faster. It's the drop temperature that I'm controlling. Okay, let's start. $200 grams of water. Nicely. Okay, while we wait for this, 4 minutes I'll break the coffee. I will have to weigh the beans I want to roast next. Okay, let's get the other bean. Minutes plus. So now I will be roasting the other one, which I'll increase the temperature to 180 because I want to roast it to a slightly darker temperature. Slightly higher temperature. What's the water temperature for carving? Usually we just use boiling water, 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, it's 4 minutes, so let's break the coffee. Oh, it has a floral smell. Okay, let's remove the clumps, the coffee ground. Okay, now we have to wait for the things to cool down a little bit more. So usually around 8 to 10 minutes before we can drink it. Otherwise, when we slurp it, you'll be burning our tongues. Right, and while waiting, we still enjoy the coffee since this morning. It has become cold coffee, but still tastes good. Right, I hope you find this interesting because I think we are running really long. And if you are still following us, you are a true fan. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll be roasting the second batch. I will not guide you through the entire process again. Rather, I'll just drop the bean. You know, this is a bean that we use for the slightly medium dark roast. It's designed for the milk-based coffee. Yeah, but I'm switching the formula a little bit. No problem, my pleasure. Okay, 6 minutes, still hot. Nonetheless, I'm still going to try a little bit, just don't slurp. Oh, it is very similar to this cup of coffee, but just that when it cools down, it has a lot more body. This one is pretty clean. Oh, the sweetness is there. Acidity is there, it's very pleasant. Oh, this is good. You know, it has a very pleasant acidity that goes at the side, at the back of your tongue, and it makes you salivate. You know what I mean? That's the kind of juiciness I'm talking about. Yeah. No problem, Sam. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Oh, still hot. But definitely the juiciness, it's a very clean coffee. right? So, and I didn't really develop it long enough to reach medium. I think this is still considered as a medium light roast, but the coffee just tastes, this is what the coffee I want to serve as a black coffee and as espresso and also as a black coffee. So this is what I want. And as a roaster, you must plan what you want to achieve. That's how we do it. Eight minutes. See whether we can slurp it. Oh yeah. Still a little bit too hot. Wait for 10 minutes. Anyway, thanks for joining. I think I will not drag any further. It's approaching 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. in the morning. And I'm just going to finish the roast, do a second cupping, and then I'll be going off. Right, so thanks for joining. Right, you always welcome. Right, so I would just like to shout out to people that have joined us. Right, thanks Hyper for joining. Right, thanks Sam for joining. Thanks Randy for joining. Apophis, thank you for joining. Rosa, thank you for joining us. Gwen, thank you for joining us. Chahak, sorry, thanks for joining us. These are our usual morning crowd. Yep, really glad to have you, so that at least I will not be talking to myself. Right, so see you very soon in the next one. I will think about what I want to do in the coffee roasting series. Maybe you can also write down in the comment section down below for me, right, so that I will know what to look out for and what to plan for when I do the roasting video, right? I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.